Kia taunga mana ki tanga te mea ngaro, ki runga ki tēnā o tātou. Kia mahea te moa, te hua mā kihikihi. Kia toi te kupu, toi te mana, toi te aroha, toi te reo Māori. Kia tūturu kia whakamaua. Kia tina, hui e tāiki e. Let's see, I wonder. I'm gonna just let this marinate. There we go. Yeah, we are live. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Let's double check the volume. Te hua mā kihiki. Kia toi te kupu, toi te mana, toi te aroha, toi te reo Māori. Kia tūturu kia whakamaua. Kia tina, hui e tāiki e. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to pause a download because it looks like I'm lagging pretty bad. So when it comes to, you know what, I might just leave these on so I can, let's see, I wonder. So I'll just leave my earphones on and then leave the video on so that if I need to check, I can just go straight to it. Unlikely that I will, but we'll see. But yeah, that little thing that I just said at the start, guys, that was a prayer or like an affirmation in Māori, a karakia, we call it. So basically calling upon our ancestors, our predecessors, our spiritual predecessors, and asking for their strengths, asking for their ability to be able to work with them, to be in alignment, in attunement with our spiritual predecessors and all that good shit, and keeping our language, our words, our mana. Mana is actually something interesting that maybe some other people who aren't Māori might like, I think. If they learned about mana. Mana is something that like everyone has. It's like a spiritual force in a sense. It's not like chi or like life force, like how they explain it in like Chinese. It's like, it's almost like willpower, almost, but not exactly, if that makes sense. Like willpower is kind of something that you create from your mana in a sense. I don't know if that's the right way to word it exactly, but it's kind of difficult for me to explain because like I've always known what it is, but to be able to explain, well, not always, but I've known what it is for as pretty much as long as I can remember. But it's a little bit difficult for me to explain what it is because I haven't really been or had the chance or gave myself the chance to explain what it is, if that makes sense. So let me just turn this off for now. I need it soon. I don't need it now. I don't even know if it's going to make a difference, but regardless. So let's just check the volume again. Gave myself the chance to explain what it is, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're good. So getting into the video, as you can tell, we got Scorpio moon right now. We're transforming our delusion or our dream. Oh, pardon me. So whether you've been in a delusion or a dream, you're going to be transforming either more deeper into that, or you're going to transform out of that. It's like a form of escaping out of that too, which ties into the Pisces energy with it being ruled by Jupiter. So yeah, either if you're on the more higher octave side, you'll be experiencing more of that energy of your dreams starting to more come into fruition. You're probably being able to see them more, perhaps, so you'll be able to actually experience your dreams more physically, more tangibly, you know what I mean? So you might notice a lot of signs and synchronicities or confirmations or just certain situations that really align themselves when it comes to right now. And it'll be like in a beautiful kind of way. And you like probably experience a lot of stuff you already had in your mind. And then you might even think to yourself, like, oh wow, like I really thought, like I literally thought this, or I felt this way like a week ago or a month ago or something like that. And now it's like I'm experiencing that same feeling, but in the form of a circumstance that is actually in front of me, if that makes sense. I'm not sure how to explain it other than that, but I'm sure it makes enough sense. Anywho, so yeah, when it comes to that, if you're on the lower octave, which is to say that you probably been making more mistakes per se, which really technically there is no such thing as mistakes anyway. It's only lessons, and some lessons are, lessons that we don't necessarily want to do or go through, and some lessons are lessons that we do want to go through, and the ones that we don't want to go through, we usually would call mistakes, and then the ones that we do go through, we'll probably just call those like blessings. I don't know, something like that. A few things, but you get the idea. So yeah, when it comes to this lower octave side of the spectrum, then you'll probably be experiencing a lot of circumstances in the same vein, but obviously it'll be more like a negative feeling, more of accumulation of negative feelings, more accumulation of negative thoughts that you thought like a while ago, and now you're starting to experience them more. So all of that will show you how things will flow. And it looks like we also have a trine in the sky too, so it's a water trine. So with the water trine means basically, especially because it's filtered through the moon and then the sun. So when it comes to, what is that? Mars. So Mars in Cancer, and then the sun in Pisces. So we'll have like this gift to feel and Pisces, to feel and kind of create this imagination about how we can go about achieving our dreams through our actions or something like that, is what I'm getting with this. Bear with me, guys. I haven't mentioned this in a while in my astrology videos, but I'm still learning myself, and this is also kind of a learning aspect for myself to be able to talk about it more on a deeper scale. Because when it comes to people in my real life, like even the ones that know astrology, I kind of talk about like more of the basics, because a lot of people don't necessarily know about the deep trines and all that kind of stuff. So it can get a little bit confusing, I've noticed, for some people when I stray too far from the basics. So talking about it like this in depth and talking about like trines and how they play out, it's a little bit new for me. So, if that doesn't resonate, I wouldn't take it, but if it resonates, then okay, we're on to something, you know what I mean? Like, but I just also go based off my own experiences too, what's kind of energy that I've been experiencing myself, you know what I mean? And I know that I've been feeling and experiencing those kind of energies too, which also ties in with the signs. So that's my kind of confirmation that I go off, which I think that's probably the best way to do it, low key, now that I actually say that out loud. I'm like, well, that's how you do it. That's literally how you do it. But okay, go off, Queen. So yeah, very interesting there. So yeah, we're really experiencing all this stuff. But yeah, as I was saying before about mana too, it just brought me back to that. I don't know when I stopped. At what point in the sentence or the convo did I stop saying about mana? Probably around the time when I said that I couldn't really explain it properly. But yeah, like people, you can gain mana from certain things. You can give others mana in a sense, and people can also take your mana, by certain actions, by certain ways that we relate and we interact within the world, and sometimes we give our own mana away. We give our own, like, almost power. It's a sense of power in a way. So it's like giving your power away. I guess you could probably say it like that. When you give your mana away, in English you could probably equate it to how people, especially nowadays, say you're giving your power away, right? So that's kind of a way you could explain it when it comes to mana. So yeah, I think it's a really interesting and cool word to talk about. Um, yeah, I don't know, something about that, because it's more unique, and for it to be its own word as well is what really draws me to it and what makes me want to talk about it even more. But regardless, it just ties into that kind of energy of, for me, like reconnecting to my culture, which is why I do the karakia, and I also do the, like I was just explaining, mana. So you get the audio, you know what I mean? So even though I'm in Australia, might be a little bit whitewashed, might be a little bit Australia washed, might be a little bit immigrant, it's all cool, it's all good, and I'm trying to do what I do in the best way that I can with the tools that I have. You know what I mean? Because I came here when I was a child with my mum, so ain't like I really had a choice. But also, what's it called? It also is a testament to what kind of experiences I was accumulating in my past life. And it's highly likely because we always repeat our past life in some way, shape, or form. So if I'm born in a vessel that gets taken from New Zealand to Australia when I was a child, then in some way, shape, or form in my past life, I must have gone from my home country to another country. So I must have been some kind of a migrant or immigrant or whatever the heck you would put the term to it, you know? So it's all about, just seeing, like, okay, that ties in with that, and this ties in with this. Clickety click click. Make sure that you don't get a little bit of your knickers in a twist. You know what I'm saying? So now I wanted to show you guys my little moss collection, because I've been doing moss and shit like that. I've been going out and collecting. I don't know if I've said this on YouTube yet. I think I might have, but because I've been really hyper focused and interested, it's like one of my interests at the moment is just going out and foraging and collecting things in the wild, which helps me really get a deeper connection to the whenua, the land that I'm on. So then it allows me to be able to appreciate it more, appreciate everything really. Because when you actually notice how much of abundance of resources that you have around you, that's one of the main things that really captivates me with this too. Is because, like, there's so much resources, and especially if you're into like gardening and like making nice little gardens, there's so many different things out there that can create so many different beautiful things that you might not have necessarily considered if you were focused on other shears. So I used to really want to do like terrariums and stuff like that when I was younger. But like I just never really did it because I wasn't really about shit. Like I was very like procrastinator queen, like that kind of energy. This one won't come out, bro. Get your ass out. Yeah, I was very much a procrastinator, big time, and I, didn't really have much goals, didn't really have much things going on, so I never really considered doing this. Well, I'm not like I did consider it. Sorry, that's a wrong way to say it. I didn't really do this. Like it wasn't. It didn't end up happening because wait, actually, am I good for the Wi-Fi, babes? Yeah, I didn't actually end up following through. Damn. Damn. And finally, now that I've actually been, because I've been more in that free kind of state, that light state of mind, I'm not so heavy, I'm not so encapsulated by like certain thought forms, certain responsibilities that might be making me feel more restricted, right? Which can be a luxury, but at the same time, we all make our bed, So whatever you made, babes, you better lay in that sheet. I'm just checking to see the connection. Procrastinator, big time. And yeah, we're good. So yeah, made your bed, then you better lay in it, kind of shit. You know what I mean? So, anyways, now that I'm less of a procrastinator, less, I would say I'm pretty much not a procrastinator at this point. But now that I'm not like that anymore, it's come to a point where I'm able to do a lot of the stuff that I did want to do before, but I actually didn't follow through. Even though I didn't really necessarily have an interest in doing terrariums because I was focused on other stuff. Like I had so much other stuff that I really wanted to do. Like I made this shirt, this like kind of like shirt. Let me just show it instead of talking about it. I made this. I ended up buying like this really cheap sewing machine because I didn't want to buy a sewing machine if it was expensive, and then I didn't like it. But also like I just didn't have that much money as well, so I made this shirt. Like, let's be real, it's obviously like looks raggedy, but that's the style that I went for. So like I tried to go for the whole like raggedy old style type shit, and it's just a plain like striped kind of white shirt that I had. You can see those stripes. Let me just turn this on now. Yeah, it's just a plain old white little striped shirt type thing. And I added these little things on the side, these little frills. And I added these frills on this side, and I added this like collar type thing around the neck. And then I added like this, whatever this is called, frills or some shit. And I cut these holes as well. I cut these little holes, cut that hole in there, like to give it that old look, and then I tea stained it and coffee stained it. So I was focused on that and like creating a whole bunch of shit. Never mind the feet. And then I kind of like didn't really want to do sewing for a little bit. I can't remember why. Like, but I think I'd been doing it for a long time. Like that thing itself took me for quite a while. And like when I do something, I do it. You know what I mean? Like I do it pretty much every single day. for like weeks sometimes, so it gets a little bit intense, you know what I mean? So like I'd be like freaking altering. I'm like, oh, like as soon as I got the sewing machine, I was like, give me some clothes that you want me to alter and all this stuff. That just reminded me, I still need to do somebody's jumper, but I freaking struggled with the cuffs. Well, not the cuffs, the end bits. I don't know what they're called. The cuff, but like at the bottom, you know, like at the bottom of the jumper, not on the sleeves. Anyways, I don't know what to call them. Anyways, that's more personal than anything. I'm just like kind of thinking out loud at that point. Let me just not do that too much. Because. But yeah, so I started getting all the moss clean. I started getting all the shizness. Which reminds me, I need to spray this moss. Well, it didn't remind me, it just made me touch it, and now I feel it's not wet. Yeah, so let me see if you can see. Can't really see that. Bruh, that's so bright, but it's gonna work, so. So yeah, this little piece of moss, it's not little, it's fucking massive. I didn't even mean to grab that much, but I already had it in my hand, so I was like, bitch, let me not waste this hoe, let me just take it all. Plus there was a massive amount there, like so much. It was crazy. And this is really mature moss. I've been getting like a lot of moss that's not mature. So it was really satisfying to find one that was actually properly mature. And I wasn't necessarily looking for it at that time as well. I'd already found like a decent amount of moss. At that point, I was just on my walk exploring. And yeah, it's interesting the things that you can find out when you actually start to take your interests seriously. Rather than like putting them on the back burner, like I feel like a lot of people are so used to doing, myself included, in the past. So then we also have others. We also have this little piece of grass. Doesn't look too nice as it is because it is like a bit messy. But what's it called? It looked a lot nicer when I found it, obviously. Otherwise I wouldn't have grabbed it. It was like so pretty, so beautiful. So I'm gonna chop some of that in here. And what's it called? When I found this, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so abundant, I'm freaking so rich right now. Like that's how I felt. Obviously, like I'm not affirming this to myself or anything. Because I already did my affirmations, you know what I mean? And then we got this little piece that I'm gonna chuck in there. So sorry guys, I was just washing it. So yeah, I'm gonna make a little a heel in there. In the dirt, here we have this little jar. which I'm probably gonna add way more dirt to. But I'm trying to figure out the plan, you know, the idea, the vision. So I'm trying to think. Funny. I think I need to put some mud in there because it sticks better. Like the soil is too loose, you know? And I honestly just got distracted just then because there was people outside my room talking a lot. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it sort of threw me off of what I was thinking about and talking about. So obviously I know we were talking about the tarot, but like where specifically I was at. So that was kind of annoying. But we're all good. So we'll get there, we'll get there. So yeah, that's something that I've been doing lately, guys. Or something that I thought I could share on here. And like maybe possibly if you guys are interested, I mean I might do it anyway, obviously. You know I mean, sorry. But what's it called? I might like start talking about it more, you know, like the different things, but this will just be like an introductory video. So everything that I have here was all collected from just outside, just randomly. Like obviously broken sticks. We also have down the bottom, I put like a layer of, they're like pine needles, but it's like an Australian species of pine, which is technically not pine, but they are little sticks basically. You know, if you know what a pine tree looks like, or like the pine needles, then you'll get the idea of what they are. But they're more like pliable and they're a little bit, I think they're hollow or something. So they are at the bottom to act like as a slow fertilizer type of thing. And then I'm going to chuck some moss in here as well. We got as well. I don't know if I'm going to put this moss, but this moss here is like a, like that. There you can see it. So I found that one today. That one's really, really healthy looking. Love that one. But I may not put that in there because I want that one in other places. I think I want like a bushy style of moss here in this one. Not like the one I showed you, something like a star type of one. I'll show you. We're half an hour in already. Wow. So this, oh, let me just get it out actually. Actually, this looks very similar. I'm sus now. If that's the exact same one as the first one I showed you. Just a less mature version. Oh wow, it's so small you can't really see it, but What is that? Oh, that's some roots. So we're gonna put that one on this side, and then the grass one is more closer to this side. If you can't really see it. It's even worse if I put it close. The grass is more closer to that side. And then I don't know if you can see the moss there, it's very small. And so that's how the plan we're gonna do. I might put a few more pieces of grass there. Then I want to put some of that grass in maybe a pot so I can actually cultivate it, get it more nice and full, more beautiful looking. So yeah, that's something I've been doing lately, guys. Been really like obsessed, I would say, with plants and like just nature in general. So that's been really, really interesting to delve into. You know, but I thought I'll share it because I've been doing that for a while and I haven't really said anything about it on here. And I like sharing that kind of stuff. Like, because it's, to me, I see it as another form of art, creativity, you know. And then obviously I'll show you guys later on, like more about that once I've actually done more of that terrarium. And you'll be able to see the progress, vibes, cute, slay. So I'm pretty sure that was all I wanted to really talk about was the moss, and I wanted to go in like kind of depth about, or not in depth, but more deeper about like the different facts, I guess, and like techniques. But I don't know. I feel like I'd done some of that already, like when I was explaining the type of soil. Oh yeah, for the soil, like I mixed that mud that I found because I was saying about the ingredients. The ingredients, the soil, I put mud and then I put like this other soil, this dry type of soil, more coarse. I mixed those both together and then I wet them because I'm putting moss and I'm putting this other grass, which actually I found by the water. And that's one thing that I learned too with this whole thing. Is like it's kind of common sense, but if you find it somewhere, then that's the natural environment, you know. So that's the kind of conditions that you should replicate. So should be more obviously if I found it by somewhere wet, you know, it's gonna want to be more moist and more wet. And then even I look at like the type of soil, so that's why I got some of that mud and use it for that grass too, because that's where I found it in that type of mud. Not that specific mud that I got, but you know, that's similar. And then on top of that, I also put, like I was saying, with those sticks at the bottom and stuff for the slow release, and even pieces of bark, because those are a little bit thicker, so they might take longer to decompose. And I already have like little kind of critters in there that'll be able to eat those decaying plant matter. So then that's like a form of, what is it, composting, like how worms do. They're actually wood louse, whatever. And then what else? I put like the stones from the garden at the front of the house because there's so many freaking stones and they're kind of low key. Gotta lie, they're kind of ugly and they look prettier in my terrarium. So yeah, period. I low key hate that, but whatever. whatever happens, happens, you know, babes. You gotta go with the flow sometimes. That's like really what I've learned with this whole thing. Because, like, you know, to a certain degree, obviously there's a certain amount of finesse and non-flow that you need as well. But generally, going with the flow has been quite beautiful for me. But that also might be because I have a Saggy moon and a Gemini cusp, so maybe a little bit more free, a little bit more loose like that. So yeah, I'll see you guys for the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed it.